Okay, so I am so excited that I'm taking a second pair of heels. These are mine, and these were also damaged. Because I've got this bucket out, I want to put some more colors into it, and I want to dye these shoes, which I also got for very cheap on eBay. I am using Angelus and deglazer again. So I just put the deglazer on the Jimmy Choos. I also undid the strap because I want that to be dyed. I put Scotch tape over the Jimmy Choo part because I'm hoping to keep that clean. I also added more green because I personally like green. I'm going to swirl it around a little bit, and I will put the shoes in. Now this time I'm not going to do the same protective thing for the inside because these are slingbacks. So let's see how it goes. Heels are a little bit different because you really gotta coat, and there's bubbles in here. And I noticed that with the other pair of shoes, if there were large bubbles, then the dye didn't get to that part. So I'm just kind of mixing it up. See, if I don't cover that up, it won't dye right. So I'm gonna cover that up. I'm gonna take a little dye from over here. But I'm just moving shoes around a little bit in there, and also making sure that, you know, they're not touching in between. And they're peep toe shoes, so if you want the peep toe to be done, you kind of have to move them around a little bit. I'm not worried about the bottom because the bottom needs to have a rubber sole put onto it. And I'm gonna have to do that later, of course. These shoes are gonna have to dry all the way. So it didn't come out as expected, which is okay, because I think there's going to be a lot of people out there that maybe try this and this doesn't come out as you want it to. And there's a lot of things that you could do in this situation. Number one, you could do what I did, which is I put it back in the bucket for a little while. And I think that this is much better now than what it was in the first place. This one has some really interesting parts of it too. Secondly, if this is not what you like, if this is not what you were going for and you're unhappy with it, I would let it completely dry, and I would use deglazer, and I would dye it black, and I would dye a lot of all of this black. And part of maybe what I did wrong was I reused all of this dye. I think I can fix this shoe. So I'm just gonna see what I can do with trying to maybe do like an ombre type of thing. Now I already put blue in the middle, and when they're gonna connect, that's when I'll make a big difference in the leather dye itself. Oh, I'm so in love with this purple. I'll take the purple up till about here. That's when I'll pick up the blue. Blue up. That's what I'll do. Jade instead, because I think jade would make a little bit more sense. Here is jade. Lovely. So this might feel counterproductive, but this is deglazer, and this is just the dye I had just put on, but it looked a little thick. So sometimes what I do once I put dye on is I let it dry, and then I just go over it with a little deglazer, because that way it doesn't look as thick to me. This way it's adhering nicely, and you know that if anything's going to come off, it should just come off at this point. Kind of helps with that ombre look too, which is what I'm going for. It's pretty nice. And it's not as thick. That's a little thick. We'll figure it out. I mean, so honestly, this isn't bad. It starts off purple at the beginning, and then it kind of changes into this blue, and then it goes into green. And it's really not a bad ombre shoe. And what really helps is using that deglazer to move paint around a little bit. So the inside is still kind of messy. I have to do the heel tip, and I'm gonna do the front of this shoe. But as far as the patent leather is, I am in love with this. I always wanted a shoe that I could do ombre on, and I just thought it was so light at the beginning. Again, this is my personal shoe. This is now next to the shoe that I dyed with the Angelus set that came out like this, and this is beautiful, and I'm still working a little bit on the bottom of it. But these jimmies, I love this ombre.